Some men find out their wife is betraying them and they fall apart completely. They drink too much, call their buddies at 2 a.m. and ask questions that don't have good answers. I'm not that kind of man. My name is Trevor Mason. I'm 57 years old, and the night my wife tried to sell my life's work to a German competitor, I smiled, ordered another glass of wine, and said 2 words in perfect German that made a very confident man's face go white as paper. But let me back up, because if you don't understand where this started, you won't appreciate how it ended. It began on a Wednesday evening in March. I'd been running numbers all day, preparing for our company's IPO filing. Mason Industrial Equipment had been my baby for 22 years. We manufacture precision machinery for automotive plants. Nothing glamorous, but profitable. Very profitable. We were looking at a $120 million public offering, and at 57, this was supposed to be my ticket to a comfortable retirement. I'd built this company from nothing. Started in a rented warehouse with 3 employees and a dream of making better manufacturing equipment than the German and Japanese imports that dominated the market. 22 years later, we had 340 employees, contracts with every major automaker in North America, and a reputation for precision that our competitors envied. The journey hadn't been easy. I'd worked 80-hour weeks for the first decade, reinvesting every penny back into research and development. I missed my daughter's soccer games, my son's graduation, too many family dinners to count. But my first wife, Sarah, understood. She'd supported every crazy decision, every risky expansion, every late night when I'd come home exhausted and covered in machine oil. Sarah died 4 years ago. Cancer, the aggressive kind that takes everything you love and leaves you standing in an empty house, wondering what the point of success is when you have nobody to share it with. For 18 months, I barely functioned. The company ran itself, thank God, because I sure wasn't running it. Then I met Diana. Diana Wells was everything Sarah wasn't. Where Sarah had been warm and nurturing, Diana was sharp and ambitious. Where Sarah had been content to support from behind the scenes, Diana wanted to be in the boardroom, making decisions, driving results. She joined our company as marketing director 3 years ago, during the worst period of my grief, and honestly, she saved me. Not just personally, though that was part of it. Diana brought fresh ideas, new energy, connections I'd never thought to pursue. She suggested we look at European markets, particularly Germany. She had contacts there, she said, people who understood quality manufacturing and weren't afraid to pay for it. We'd been married 2 years now, together for 3. Diana had moved into the house Sarah and I built, slept in the bed Sarah and I shared, and somehow made it feel like home again instead of a museum to my dead wife's memory, which is why what happened next hurt so much. Deanna was in the kitchen when I got home that Wednesday evening, leaning against the granite counter with that smile she wore when she wanted something. She was beautiful in a sharp, polished way, the kind of woman who looked like she belonged in boardrooms and country clubs. At 52, she took better care of herself than I did, with her twice-weekly tennis matches and her subscription to every health magazine published. Trevor, she said in that warm voice of hers, Klaus Brennan wants to take us to dinner Friday. He says it's time he got to know the man behind the woman. Klaus Brennan, I'd heard that name for months now. Diana had been working on a potential partnership with his German engineering firm, Brennan Industries. Big contracts, European expansion, the works. The kind of deal that could double our revenue overnight and make our IPO even more attractive to investors. Sure, I said, not looking up from my laptop. Sounds good. Diana blinked. I think she expected pushback, maybe some territorial husband routine. Most men my age, especially successful ones, don't like their wives having dinner with other successful men. But I just smiled and went back to reviewing our quarterly reports. What Diana didn't know was that I'd been suspicious for weeks. Not about another man, about money. See, I'm a CFO before I'm anything else, and numbers don't lie. Our manufacturing costs had been running 3% higher than projected for 4 months straight. Small amounts, easy to miss unless you lived in spreadsheets like I did. But when you're dealing with $50 million in annual revenue, 3% is real money. I'd been tracking the discrepancies for 6 weeks. Extra materials ordered but not used. Shipping costs that didn't match delivery schedules. Small consulting fees to companies I'd never heard of. Individually, none of it was suspicious. Together, it painted a picture I didn't like. Deanna also didn't know that I spoke German. Fluent German. I'd spent a semester in Munich back in college, working at an engineering firm. 40 years later, I still remembered every word. It's funny how languages stick with you, even when you don't use them for decades. Sometimes I'd dream in German, wake up confused about where I was. I'd never mentioned it to Diana. Why would I? It never came up in conversation. And honestly, I'd almost forgotten about it myself until she started talking about German partnerships and German contacts and how impressed she was with German engineering standards. Friday arrived dressed up for something important. The restaurant was one of those places where they don't print prices on the menu. Not because they forgot, but because if you need to ask, you shouldn't be there. Dark wood, soft lighting, the kind of place where million-dollar deals get made over $200 bottles of wine. The place was called Romano's, tucked into the financial district where deals worth more than most people's houses get signed over handshakes and expensive wine. I'd eaten there maybe a dozen times over the years, always with clients who wanted to impress me with their expense accounts. The kind of restaurant where the waiters wear better suits than most executives and they remember your name after one visit. Klaus was already seated when we arrived. Tall guy, maybe 45, with silver hair that probably cost him $300 every 3 weeks to maintain. He had that European polish that comes from generations of family money and private schools. When he stood to greet us, his movements were precise, calculated. This wasn't a man who left anything to chance. "Trevor," he said, extending his hand with a practiced smile. The German accent was there, but polished smooth like expensive leather. "I have heard so much about you." His handshake was firm, maybe a little too firm. The kind of grip that says, "I'm measuring you while we shake." I gave it right back to him, looking him in the eye like my father taught me 40 years ago. Never let another man think he can intimidate you, even with something as simple as a handshake. "All good things, I hope," I replied. "Of course," he said, but his eyes said something else entirely. They were taking inventory. My watch, my suit, my posture, sizing me up like a competitor, not like someone he was hoping to do business with. We sat down at a corner table that probably cost them extra. The kind of spot where you could have private conversations without worrying about eavesdroppers. Klaus had requested it specifically, Diana told me later. Should have been my first red flag, but I was focused on the wrong things. The conversation started safe enough. Klaus asked polite questions about manufacturing, about our processes, about our plans for expansion. I answered honestly, maybe more honestly than I should have. When you're proud of what you've built, it's easy to talk about it. Too easy. "Your precision tolerances are impressive," Klaus said, cutting into his $85 steak. "Most American manufacturers cannot achieve such consistency. We've invested heavily in quality control," I said. "It's expensive upfront, but it pays off in customer loyalty."
Yes.
"Diana has told me about your quality standards. Very thorough documentation," she says. Diana smiled and touched Klaus's arm. "Trevor's obsessed with documentation. Everything has to be recorded, measured, analyzed. It drives some of our employees crazy, but it's what makes us different." Something about the way she said it bothered me. Not the words themselves, but the tone. Like she was sharing an inside joke with Klaus, one that I wasn't part of. "Documentation is everything in manufacturing," I said. "Without proper records, you can't reproduce results. You can't scale. You can't prove your processes work." "Exactly," Klaus nodded. "Which is why European companies value American manufacturing data so highly. Your documentation standards are excellent." The way he said American manufacturing data made my skin crawl. It was too specific, too focused. Like he wasn't talking about manufacturing in general, but about specific data. Our data. We ordered another bottle of wine, a $400 Bordeaux that Klaus insisted on paying for. Diana was more animated than I'd seen her in months, laughing at Klaus's stories about German business culture, asking detailed questions about his company's operations. She was networking. I told myself, building relationships. That's what marketing directors do. But there was something else. The way she leaned forward when Klaus spoke, the way her hand lingered when she touched his arm, the way she avoided looking at me directly when she laughed at his jokes. I'd been married twice. I knew the signs of a woman who was interested in another man. The thought should have made me angry. Instead, it made me curious. Diana wasn't stupid. She wouldn't risk our marriage, her job, our entire future together for some European businessman she'd just met, unless there was more to it than attraction. That's when Klaus made his mistake. We were halfway through dessert, some elaborate chocolate thing that probably took 3 hours to make, when Klaus leaned forward and said something in German to Diana. Something he clearly thought I wouldn't understand. "Die Produktionsdaten sind bereit für den Transfer. Nächste Woche können wir den Deal abschließen. 12 Millionen, wie besprochen. The production data is ready for transfer. Next week we can close the deal. 12 million, as discussed." I kept eating my chocolate, whatever it was, showing no reaction. In my peripheral vision, I saw Diana nod slightly. Then she responded, also in German. Hat keine Ahnung. Die IPO-Dokumente geben uns Zugang zu allem, was wir brauchen. He has no clue. The IPO documents give us access to everything we need. My spoon stopped halfway to my mouth. I set it down carefully, like a man who was simply finished with dessert, not like a man who had just heard his wife admit to corporate espionage. They kept talking, in German, right in front of me. "Klaus, sind Sie sicher, dass nichts verdächtigt? Are you sure he doesn't suspect anything?" "Diana, völlig sicher." Ist zu beschäftigt mit den IPO-Vorbereitungen etwas zu bemerken. Completely sure. He's too busy with IPO preparations to notice anything. I sat there smiling, swirling my wine glass like a man who had absolutely no idea what was being said around him. Inside, my mind was racing. They weren't just having an affair, they were stealing from my company. They had been for months, probably since Diana started working on this supposed partnership. The IPO documents. Diana had access to everything. Our client lists, our proprietary processes, our financial projections, our strategic plans. As marketing director working on our public offering, she'd seen documents that contained 22 years of my life's work. And she was selling it to Klaus for $12 million. I let the silence breathe for exactly 5 seconds. Then I set down my wine glass, leaned forward slightly, and said in the clearest German I'd spoken in 20 years, Interessante Geschäftsstrategie. Erzählen Sie mir mehr über diese 12 Millionen. Interesting business strategy. Tell me more about this 12 million. The color drained from Klaus's face so fast it was almost medical. Diana's hand froze halfway to her wine glass. Her mouth opened slightly, then closed, then opened again like a fish trying to breathe air. Klaus recovered first, but barely. His voice was steady, but I could see his hands trembling slightly as he reached for his napkin. You speak German. Since college, I replied calmly. Funny how useful it can be. Diana made a sound that was almost a laugh, but not quite. The kind of sound that comes out when laughing is the only thing standing between you and complete panic. Her face had gone through about 6 different expressions in the last 10 seconds. Shock, confusion, fear, calculation, and now something that looked like desperate damage control. Trevor, she started, her voice higher than normal. This isn't what you think. I held up my hand, still smiling. Let me guess. Klaus here has been offering to buy our production processes, our client lists, maybe even our IPO filing data, and you've been providing it piece by piece for what, minus a percentage of that 12 million? Klaus set down his wine glass very carefully. The practiced businessman was back, but I could see cracks in the facade. You don't understand the complexities of international business partnerships. I understand numbers, I said, and I've been tracking some very interesting numbers for the past 4 months. Inflated costs, delayed shipments, production data that somehow keeps ending up in the wrong places. Diana had gone completely still. Trevor, this isn't corporate espionage. This is legitimate business development, is it? I reached into my jacket and placed my phone on the table. What you both don't know is that Illinois is a single-party consent state, which means I can legally record our conversations without telling you. The silence that followed had weight to it, not comfortable silence. The kind that presses down on a room like a physical thing, where you can actually hear people trying to figure out what their faces should be doing. Klaus's jaw was doing something very specific, the tight, controlled flex of a man holding something back by the grip of his back teeth. You're bluffing. I tapped my phone screen. Klaus Brennan, March 15th, 8:47 p.m. The production data is ready for transfer. Next week, we can close the deal. 12 million as discussed. Diana Mason, same time, he has no clue. The IPO documents give us access to everything we need. Klaus went very pale. Diana's hands were shaking now. Here's what's going to happen, I continued, my voice completely level. Tomorrow morning, I'm calling our legal team. Then I'm calling the FBI's Economic Crime Unit. Then I'm filing an emergency injunction to freeze any assets Klaus has in U.S. banks. Trevor, please. Diana's voice was barely a whisper. Please, what? Please let you finish stealing everything I've built. Please pretend I didn't just watch my wife commit federal crimes right in front of me. I stood up, pulled out my wallet, and dropped $300 bills on the table. Dinner's on me. Consider it a going-away present. Klaus finally found his voice. You're making a mistake, Trevor. This could be handled quietly between reasonable businessmen. You're right, I said. It could have been. But you made one critical error, Klaus. You assumed I was stupid. And Diana made an even bigger one. She assumed I was blind. I looked at my wife of 2 years, the woman who had helped me rebuild my life after Sarah died. You had access to everything, Diana. Marketing director privileges, plus you've been helping with IPO documentation. If you wanted to steal from my company, you had the keys to the kingdom. Her face crumpled. Trevor, you don't understand. My mother's medical bills, the mortgage on my condo before we got married. I was drowning in debt. Klaus offered me a way out, so you sold my life's work. I was going to tell you. After the IPO, after we got the money from going public, I was going to explain everything. Explain what? That you were planning to destroy my company from the inside? Klaus leaned forward. Trevor, if you just listen to reason, Brennan Industries could make Mason Industrial a global player. Your technology, our distribution network, our European connections. Everyone wins. Except you weren't planning a partnership, you were planning an acquisition. Take our processes, steal our clients, undercut our pricing, and drive us out of business. I picked up my phone and put it back in my pocket. You know what the really stupid part is? If you'd approached me honestly 6 months ago, I might have been interested in a legitimate partnership. I might have been willing to license some of our processes, share some technology, but you decided to steal instead of negotiate. The offer is still Klaus started. The offer is worth exactly nothing now. Because tomorrow morning when I call the FBI, you're going to be too busy hiring criminal defense attorneys to worry about business deals. I looked at Diana one more time after Sarah died. I thought I'd never trust anyone completely again. Diana had proven me right, just not in the way I expected. I loved you, I said quietly. After Sarah, I didn't think I'd ever say that to another woman. I thought you understood what that meant. Diana was crying now. Real tears. Not the practiced kind. Trevor, I do love you. This business with Klaus, it was never about not loving you. It was about not respecting me. Not respecting what I built, not respecting our marriage. I walked out of that restaurant into the cold Chicago night, leaving 2 people at a table who had just realized they'd massively underestimated a 57-year-old CFO with a very long memory and access to very good lawyers. The next 72 hours moved fast. I called Nathan Cross, our company founder and chairman, at 6 a.m. Saturday morning. Nathan was 62, old school, and had built the foundation of what became Mason Industrial from a 2-man machine shop. When I explained what I'd discovered, he was quiet for a long time. How much damage? He finally asked. Best guess, about $3 and $2 million in proprietary data. Production processes, client contracts, supplier agreements, competitive analyses. Enough to give Brennan Industries a significant advantage in any market they wanted to enter. And Diana, that was harder to answer. She had administrative access to everything. Marketing director privileges, plus she's been helping with IPO documentation. If she wanted to steal data, she had the keys to the kingdom. Nathan was quiet again. What do you need? Andrea Collins, best corporate attorney in the city, and I need her Monday morning done. What else? A forensic accountant, someone who can trace every penny that's moved through our accounts in the last 6 months. And I need our IT department to pull every email, every file transfer, every login that Diana's made since January. Trevor, Nathan's voice was careful. You understand what this means. If we're right about this, Diana's looking at federal prison time. I understand exactly what it means. Sunday, I spent the day doing what I do best, following money. I pulled bank records, traced wire transfers, analyzed spending patterns. Diana had been careful, but not careful enough. She'd opened 2 offshore accounts in the Cayman Islands. Small deposits over 6 months, totaling about $400,000. Klaus had been paying her in installments, probably to avoid triggering federal reporting requirements. But there were other things too. Business trips to Chicago that weren't on our company calendar. Hotel bills that Klaus's company had paid for. Restaurant charges at places I'd never heard of. Deanna had been living a double life, and she'd been careless about covering her tracks. Monday morning, Andrea Collins walked into my office at 8 a.m. sharp. Andrea was 55, tough as nails, and had a reputation for eating white-collar criminals alive in federal court. She'd prosecuted corporate espionage cases before, including one that sent a Chinese national to prison for 8 years for stealing automotive technology. "Show me what you have," she said, settling into the chair across from my desk. I laid it all out. The recordings from Friday night, the financial evidence, the pattern of data theft that our IT department had uncovered over the weekend. Andrea listened without interruption, occasionally making notes in her perfect handwriting. "This is federal," she said finally. "Corporate espionage, wire fraud, conspiracy to commit theft of trade secrets. Diana's looking at 6 to 8 years minimum if we can prove she knowingly transferred proprietary information to a foreign competitor. And Klaus? If we can prove he knowingly purchased stolen intellectual property, he's looking at extradition and prosecution here, plus civil liability for damages that could run into the tens of millions." "Good," I said. "Make it happen." Tuesday, the FBI showed up at our offices. Agent Rodriguez from the Economic Crime Unit was a no-nonsense guy in his 40s who treated corporate espionage like armed robbery, which in a way, he'd worked similar cases involving theft of defense technology, pharmaceutical research, and manufacturing processes. "Mr. Mason," he said, spreading Diana's financial records across my conference table, "we've reviewed your evidence. We're prepared to move forward with arrests, but we need your cooperation for a controlled operation." "What kind of operation?" "We want to catch them in the act. Set up a meeting, get them on tape confirming the details of their arrangement. Then we move in with warrants." It took some convincing, but Diana agreed to meet me at our house Wednesday evening. She thought she could talk her way out of it. She thought if she could just explain her side, make me understand her financial pressures, maybe we could work something out quietly. She thought wrong. I had the house wired by federal agents, 3 cameras, 4 microphones, enough surveillance equipment to record a feature film. When Diana walked through our front door at 7 p.m., she had no idea she was walking into a federal sting operation. "Trevor," she said, setting down her purse on the kitchen counter. "We need to talk." Yes, I agreed. "We do." She sat on our leather couch, the same couch we'd picked out together 2 years earlier when we moved in together. The same couch where she'd comforted me during the worst months after Sarah died. "What I did," she started, "it's not what you think. Then explain it to me." Deanna took a deep breath. "Klaus approached me 6 months ago. He said Brennan Industries wanted to partner with us, but they needed to understand our production capabilities first. He said it was standard due diligence for international partnerships. So you gave him our trade secrets. I gave him basic operational data. Process flows, quality control standards, nothing that would seriously hurt the company. I pulled out a folder that Agent Rodriguez had prepared. Diana, you provided him with our complete client list, our supplier contracts with pricing information, our proprietary manufacturing processes that took us 20 years to develop. You gave him everything except our bank account numbers." Her face crumpled. "Trevor, I needed the money. My mother's medical bills were killing me. The mortgage on my condo before we got married, my credit card debt from when I was unemployed for 8 months. I was drowning financially before I met you. So you stole from my company. I borrowed against future profits. Klaus said the partnership with Brennan Industries would make us all rich. He said Mason Industrial could become a global player. Except Klaus was never planning to partner with us. He was planning to destroy us. Take our clients, undercut our pricing with stolen technology, steal our market share. And you were helping him do it." Diana started crying. Real tears this time, not the practiced kind. "Trevor, I'm sorry. I never meant for it to go this far. How far did you mean for it to go? What was the end game, Diana?" She wiped her eyes with a tissue from the coffee table. "Klaus promised me a position with Brennan Industries after they acquired us. Senior Vice President of American Operations, $300,000 a year, plus equity in the merged company. And what about me? What about our marriage?" She looked away. "Klaus said after the acquisition, there would be room for qualified personnel who understood American manufacturing." I sat back in my chair. "So you were planning to sell my company out from under me, divorce me, and take a job with the people who destroyed everything I built. It wasn't supposed to happen like this." That's when Agent Rodriguez stepped out from the kitchen. "Mrs. Mason, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit corporate espionage, wire fraud, and theft of trade secrets." Diana's face went white as paper. "Trevor, you can't do this to me. I'm not doing anything to you," I said. "You did this to yourself." The trial took 8 months. Deanna pleaded guilty to avoid a longer sentence and got 6 years federal prison. Klaus fought extradition, but eventually gave up and took a plea deal, 4 years in American federal prison, plus $8 million in civil damages to our company. Our IPO went forward as planned, actually better than planned. The federal case generated enough publicity that investors saw us as a company worth protecting. We raised $147 million instead of the projected $120 million. Now, 18 months later, I'm sitting in my office looking at quarterly reports that show record profits. Mason Industrial Equipment is stronger than ever, and I learned something important. Trust the numbers, but verify everything else. My name is Trevor Mason. I'm 57 years old. I built a manufacturing company from nothing, survived my first wife's death, discovered my second wife was a federal criminal, and ended up $85 million richer for the experience. Some lessons cost more than others, but they're usually worth what you pay for them. The most expensive education I ever got was learning that when someone has access to everything you've built, character matters more than contracts. Trust is like precision manufacturing. It takes years to build right, but one defective part can destroy the whole machine.